Wait a minute, Prince Adam, you haven't seen Crawl?
You really haven't seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3?
What about Masters of the Universe?
Let's remedy that. Welcome to Raised by Spoilers, where we watch and unpack cult movies, you boob. Some of them good.
And most of them bad?
That was a real bad Skeletor, but I'm going with it. Welcome back to Raised by Spoilers, everyone. Tonight we watched Masters of the Universe. But before we start, I'm joined with the feminist warlord herself, Nintendo Geek.
Hello!
He's stone cold. He's got retractable arms. Alex Austin.
All true, it is I.
He's joining us tonight as a very special guest. And your friend and mine, my co-host, the guy you got to keep in the plastic because he kind of stinks a little sometimes. Skunkor? No, what was it? Trapjaw? God damn it. Plebeian Adam.
Yes, also, you devalue me if you take me out of the box.
That's fair.
True story.
You got to keep that sticker, that Kmart sticker, crisp. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I'm joined by a table of goons as we unpack the disasters of the universe.
A table of boobs!
Before I get everyone's thoughts, let me do a little intro for us. More Rambo than Conan the Barbarian, with almost nothing recognizable of the toy line or the canceled TV show. 1987's He-Man, The Masters of the Universe, was a complete disaster. A Hail Mary for Hasbro to save an already saturated market with a very expensive ripoff of a Star Wars. The movie was budgeted with $22 million and only made $17 million back. Surprisingly enough, the film itself reminds me of the first Thor. Gary Godwin, the director, had only done theme park attraction rides after this until he was later exposed for sexual assault allegations involving Bryan Singer of the X-Men movies. So with that information, what did everybody think of the disasters of the universe? Alex, you're the guest.
Well, I mean, it definitely didn't go the route of I'm moving on against the microphone here.
We got new mics, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back.
We got
Sorry.
new mics. We are trying. So, and they're very nice mics. If you can't tell, I sound clean and crisp as one should on these Rode mics.
Yeah.
Okay. They're gonna pay us for that.
Like
They're
a fresh action
gonna
figure.
pay us for that, obviously. So, yeah, it definitely didn't go as poorly as Gary Goddard's career ultimately went, I would say. In fact, what I saw in this, the thing that really lit it up for me right off the get-go, Skeletor comes in, music is rising, and the camera pans around him, and man, he's got drip. He's got some serious drip going on in this film, man. You see that armor? You see that black, the shiny Lycra stuff he's clothed in?
Oh, yeah.
So, man, he's popping. The muscles are popping, legs are popping. So, honestly, I was very impressed right off the get-go, and that pretty much maintained throughout the film. In a different reality. Actually, this movie's garbage, but I fully enjoyed it.
Awful.
So, I did like his entrance where he's walking to a beat with his cane. So it's ka-chung, ka-chung, ka-chung.
Ooh, yeah.
Gung, 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 gung. It was just really. They were trying to go for menacing, but I knew what
they were trying to go
like.
for next level Palpatine. Like
Yeah,
100,000%.
This movie wants to rip off Star Wars a lot.
Oh my
and
God.
you get that a lot within it. But also, Nintendo Geek, what did you think?
I think it was a classic 80s Mary Sue tale about take X franchise, put them into modern day. It just so unfortunately happened to be 1980s, maybe New Jersey. I don't know. I seen a palm tree at the end. I'm kind of questioning whether or not it was actually New Jersey.
And no one talking, "Oi!"
I think.
Yeah, I mean the cop did.
I
Yeah,
think.
the one guy from the-
Detective Lubick.
What was her name? The one that Courtney Cox played. What was her name?
Her name is Julie Winston.
Julie. Yeah. I think she was moving to New Jersey. That's where we heard New Jersey, but she's moving to New Jersey from wherever the hell they are.
You know what? That makes sense. Although that also, I don't know, because I don't know anywhere in like California or Florida, maybe Florida, that has like a chicken and rib stand. We have to look this up.
I mean, it was definitely
did
filmed
bare
in Burbank.
minimum.
I can tell you that right now.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah, because a lot of it was.
Yeah, this was definitely filmed like
Okay,
on
okay.
back lots and in and around Burbank.
And
for
the
sure.
desert.
Yeah.
Nevada desert,
Yeah,
back alley, like where they'd film a lot of the
Oh, of
cheaper
course it was filmed in California.
cheaper sci-fi or even Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
she was
Run
wearing
through
a
the desert
skirt
and
the
the
whole
hills,
time,
right.
and she wasn't cold. Had to have been the desert.
Right.
Denim. Denim skirt. Do you know how hard that is to run in? I give her credit.
Plebeian Adam.
Oh, God.
Where do we start with this film? Holy fuck, dude.
All right, I think we have to start where it's clear. Never once, I was very upset. Never once did I get to see Prince Adam.
No.
I'm fucking pissed.
Who?
Who?
yeah.
What guy?
Yeah. I don't get me wrong. I think Dolph is probably one of the best actors you could have gotten to get this role.
Okay, so remember, we had Rambo. We had The Terminator. We had Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
We had a lot of very ripped gentlemen of the time.
Yeah. The true action star.
The true 80s action star.
Yeah.
So Dolph wasn't necessarily a stretch to try to get for He-Man. Plus, he was already blonde.
Was he? Is he?
Yeah, he's blonde.
Okay.
He's a Swedish man. Of course he is.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're making assumptions, and it's a little touchy subject. But
I have to say I disliked it ultimately as a film. It is so fucking 80s. So 80s. Those back alleys are 80s. The random box areas are 80s. The color palette is 80s. But it's not good 80s. TMNT 2, great 80s. This is trash 80s. But what's funny is some of the greatest films, you can see this follows the exact same story plot pattern.
Right.
Of some of the greatest films. It's like it's so close to being formulaic, but it just does it wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's interesting you brought up the TMNT2 thing, because I really feel like a Vanilla Ice cameo would have really spiced things up in here.
well, there was no like
He-Man, go,
song.
He-Man, go.
Yeah, there was no like song.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I want to take away quick just the color. You mentioned the color scheme, right? Walking into it, you look at He-Man, even the cartoon or toy line.
Yeah.
It is bright. It is vibrant, man. Right.
Yeah.
Man-at-Arms, Tila, gray. Everything is gray and in a
Yes.
thong. And I'm not necessarily against gray and
No,
thongs.
it's her tactical thong.
I'm sorry. Her tactical thong. I apologize. We all need tactical thongs.
It's 12% quieter, okay?
It is 12% quieter. You hear the squeak of the cheek, but that's about it. What I will say, though, is it's so fucking bland.
Yeah.
This movie is... I fucking hate this
Okay,
movie.
I
hate this movie so much because I love He-Man for how wild and batshit sci-fi it is.
Yeah.
Where you get this and you're like, okay, what we're going to do? We're going to do it for the cartoon. We're going to sell toys. And then we're going to get this film that is cowboy... like bad stormtrooper Darth Vader armor, and all of our heroes are in gray, and everything's brown, and it's just flat. It's
And the
so
sword-
fucking flat, and nobody uses their swords.
Yes.
It's all laser pistols.
Considering He-Man's main weapon is his sword, and his sword blends into his costume.
Yeah.
So like, what the hell? There should be a light on his sword at all times.
Right. Every time he uses it, there's like fling, like a lens glare or something, right? But there isn't that. We have a flat, drab, very sweaty, kind of pandering, monotonous, just keeps going on. Like the film itself almost feels too long.
How long is this film? 106 minutes. Yeah. This film felt far longer than
4
106.
hours.
Yeah. It got really dry at a certain point.
It was marketed for kids. This is to sell toys.
I liked the texture and the physical design of Man-at-Arms armor, but their color scheming was wrong. It didn't pop they had so much texture and depth and layers that were really cool, but they did not make it pop with colors.
Well, the characters too, they weren't like, to me, they just, other than He-Man, the man himself, Dolph Lundgren, they didn't seem bulky enough to me. Especially after I've watched the show, like Man-at-Arms, like his armor's like bigger, thicker.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean? Like the
they're
weapons
running
are
around
bigger.
in football gear.
Yeah,
Tactical bulletproof vests.
It definitely has more presence, and they definitely didn't achieve that in this. And then as far as the weapons go, I mean, like, why is everybody so fucking strapped in this movie? Like, what the hell? They're like, He-Man, the first thing he does is pull out a gun and just start blasting bitches. Like, it was crazy.
It was kind of weird that
Rambo 2 was really popular at the time.
Oh.
So there was this
With the
whole,
explosive
how do we sell
dart
laser
arrows?
Well, how do we sell laser tag? How do we sell like any of this?
Their problem is his main sword, his main function of the sword was block lasers, not swing sword.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which really defeats the whole fucking concept.
Yeah, exactly. Going into this, like, I did see this in theaters when I was a kid, and I vaguely remember leaving the theater with my dad. I remember the after credit scene, so I do remember that.
You sat through it all,
Yeah,
which is
yeah.
wild.
So
There was an after credit scene.
That's like one of the few
We'll get to
memories I
that.
have from that time. I remember that. We saw TMNT in theaters too back in the day. Like, I still remember that. But as a kid, I would imagine I would have been disappointed that, like, I would have wanted to see, like, more sword. And, you know, as a 4-year-old, I probably would have, like, you know, less of an opinion of how much of it, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
as an adult, that's all I want to see is him swinging that fucking sword around and, you know, cutting dudes up. But
Right.
obviously, what is it, PG? Even G movie? Oh, like, yeah, this would have been
It was
like...
PG.
It was it PG?
Yeah, it was PG.
I don't even know how it managed to be PG.
Because
but
we
yeah.
wouldn't have had a PG-13 rating. Just
Because there was blood on Beastman's.
Oh, that's
Beastman's
right.
head.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's blood sometimes.
also one of the only recognizable characters besides Skeletor, Evil Lyn.
Ooh, I would not have recognized him if they did not specify and go, "You, sir, are He-Man or Beastman. You should go out and fight." I would not have recognized
Yeah.
him.
So what did we have? Evil Lyn, Skeletor, Man-at-Arms, Sheila,
Tila.
Tila, and Beastman, as well as the man himself, He-Man.
And
Yeah.
the sorceress,
Barely.
barely.
And if those other characters were in the original show or comics or anything, I don't recall them at all.
They're not. They were
Card
specifically created
Yeah.
to sell new toys, which were never released.
Gotcha.
Until later into like the collector's market
Gotcha.
nowadays for this film.
That makes sense.
So that's why it like imagine going in seeing, hey, your favorite characters. It's
Yeah.
it's the classic DC problem where they're gonna go fight a villain that they create for that movie that has nothing to do with the comic books.
Yeah.
So you're like, who the fuck is Black Adam fighting? Who is this guy?
a big gray man.
Right.
Yes.
Were they afraid to use Fisto?
Yes. Yes, they were. They were afraid to use Fisto. Ladies and gentlemen, just so you all know, this is our Pride episode, by the way, as well. Happy Pride Month to everyone. We're doing Disasters of the Universe for you all. Because He-Man is gay as they come.
You're that.
Totally.
Once a month, or once a year, we got a good He-Man in us.
The
Adam,
Blade
keep going.
character. The Blade character. I could not stop looking at him and being reminded of the main villain from Waterworld.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He also shows up in animated format if you watch the Kevin Smith Netflix show.
No.
There is a bit in the sewers. You pointed it out instead of the first time we watched it. I want to say in the second season-ish version where they try to break back into Grayskull.
Yeah.
They're fighting the bootleg bullshit version of the He-Man villains bouncing around. Go back and watch
I
that
never
episode.
saw season 2. Now I got to go watch it.
What?
I know. For whatever reason, I never got it.
It was
It's
amazing.
very good.
Yeah.
But you kind of get now, especially if you're going to go back to season 2. Spoilers for another show. You kind of get the Skelegod. You see the cherry picking of the way this movie starts, and He-Man, I've won, and it's just fucking terrifying.
No, that's the best. I won. Like no big speech, no gloating. Just I won. Walk past him.
Yo, Bulb.
yeah.
You boob.
Like there is some gems in this pile of shit.
Yeah, but you have to dig through
You gotta
really
dig with
crusty, chunky shit.
You gotta dig, man. You gotta dig. It's
So,
like
what do we think of that? What was it? The universal key?
the universal key, the Japanese
No,
synthesizer.
the cosmic key.
Sorry, you're right. Cosmic key.
Cosmic Key.
Yeah.
Did anyone think that was just horribly 80s, a synthesizer type musical thing as a key?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's awful.
Big time.
It's awful.
Big time.
You guys kept saying the theme reminded you of Superman.
Yeah, the musical
A
theme.
couple
yeah.
times, you guys both
Yeah.
asked. We're like, is this the guy who did the Superman theme? Wait a minute, Skeletor's entering the room. It's literally the Imperial March. Just
Yes.
slowed down.
Yeah.
No, all of these tracks are ripped off. All of it was done.
Bill Conti, he did Karate Kid
And Rockies.
and Rockies.
That's it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So he didn't do Superman.
didn't do
So it's just like, what's a popular thing that the kids love?
So he just stole from everyone
I'm
else.
not saying he stole, but it is frighteningly
Boy,
close.
it's close to
It
the
is
Superman theme.
close.
Very, very close.
Especially when Skeletor first walks into the
Yeah.
room and you hear the Imperial March and all of these stormtroopers, these black Skella Nazis walk in, and it's like, oh my god. I'm like, wow. Courtney Cox is in this film.
Yes.
Did great. Honestly, she was standout.
Friends fame. They don't really give her anything to fucking do,
No.
which is shit.
Considering the lines she got, the role she got.
She was a new actress. This was about her second film.
Yeah, she's new. She did a fantastic job for what she was given.
She did. Unfortunately, they didn't do anything with her character.
No, absolutely.
A lot of the female characters in this movie just kind of fall to the wayside. They are
This was the
orphans.
80s, man.
She
at least got to run around and
It's
get hurt
Well-
and then get saved.
well, that was the thing.
It didn't actually show her getting saved.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It cut. Like, they freed the sorceress, and you just assume that the sorceress would have healed her before. Like, there was no scene where she healed her before
that's
she
right.
sent her back.
Fuck
Unresolved.
that. Fuck that.
Unresolved.
When they go back, before they even go back to Eternia or Nevada the desert, she's like, there's 3 shots, which I don't know if any of you guys have seen, but the cop is coming to be like, we gotta stop them. They're doing drugs. And he comes running over, and Courtney Cox and the fucking Not My Orko is jamming out on the guitar, and she's just wide awake being like, are we filming? Are we filming? As she's looking around wide-eyed. And then the angle changes because they didn't realize they had a 2-camera, maybe 3-camera setup, and she's just starfished out in fucking He-Man's arms. Just the entire time out. And then they go to another shot, and she's wide awake looking around again, shocked that there's what would we say? It's animated? It's not even CGI'd. The electricity, the light.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know how
was that
that goes.
rotoscoped or was that CGI?
I'm assuming it seemed rotoscoped.
Yeah, that's
it seems
rotoscoped.
painted on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the rotoscope lightning flashing around everywhere that they're all supposed to be like, okay, I'm surprised. But she didn't get the cue, so she's still just fucking looking around to what camera she's supposed to look passed out at.
Wild.
Oh my god.
I didn't notice that.
She did a great job in this film. She did what she could with what they gave her, which is practically nothing. So that speaks volumes.
Yeah.
I mean, I do
fuck.
I do want to say that the overarching theme here for me was this is a story of one man and the near
That's it.
unraveling of the universe due to him wanting his girlfriend to go with him to a sound check.
Absolutely.
you're talking
about
Let's see.
Kevin.
Let's chalk it
Yeah.
up to Skelekev.
Yeah.
Okay, so Skele fucking Kev is a total piece of shit the entire time. No wonder she's moving across the fucking country. To be like, I'm going to New Jersey to
getting
other
away.
job opportunities and boys.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, grown men. Bye. Fucking
Who don't have sound checks,
who don't have
motherfucker.
fucking sound checks. And like, oh my god.
I do love that you're going away, you got to leave at 8. You got time for my sound check, right?
You
Are
have
you
3
kidding me?
hours?
You need to prepare when you're going on a flight. You're ready 12 hours before.
Yeah, this is before 9/11. You get on the plane with a cigarette and a bottle of booze in your hand, baby, in the carry-on luggage.
That's true.
You walked on those fucking planes. You want it proof? You watch Jackie Brown. They don't even check her for coke. She just walks on the plane.
That is true. You don't have to go through like a ritual of butt fingering
There's
on
nothing.
your way there.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Unless
Less
Kevin's
fun.
dropping you off on the fucking ride there.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Spoiler warning, she never makes the fucking flight.
She
so
doesn't.
I'll tell you that.
Oh my
That's what I
god.
was waiting for the whole time. So
I know. I wanted like the hard cut of it's like, wow, they sent us back in time, and she's just wakes up on the plane being like, good fucking riddance, small town. I'm out of there, and you're fucking UFOs and He-Man. So Skeletor.
She wakes up all wrapped in a bandage. Like, there was a guy, he wore no shirt. He had a sword he never used.
He had a sword he
He
never
kept
used.
hugging me. Oh my god.
He was so sweaty.
there's no shirts there. There's only like robes and tactical
Yeah,
gear.
Eternia,
That's it.
you
Nobody
have
has
two
any
options.
fucking shirts in Eternia.
2 options: laser gun or bulletproof vest that will do jack and shit. And Jack left town a long fucking time ago. So what I will say, ladies and gentlemen, is Skeletor doesn't do a goddamn thing in this movie.
No.
He pretty much dictates, which is fine. That's Skeletor. You know how he is. But stands up, Evil Lynn, go do the thing. Sits back down. Fucking gets up, give me the sword. I did it. Puts it in the slot, sits back down. Tortures He-Man, sitting down. Like, there is one fight where he hits him with a broomstick.
Yeah.
And they shut all the lights off so they can have the explosions. I'm sorry, this is your show. I fucking hate this movie. It is rare. Ladies and gentlemen, I
So
bring-
much hate.
I all of the hate. I bring a lot of the films to the show. I kind of, it's me and Nintendo Geek's job to kind of source and just find weird off the wall movies to just talk about. And this was a cult film that we had. And what I will say is, after a few more viewings of this classic cult movie, oh, it makes my blood boil.
Only because you're so like involved and in like you love the original content so much.
Well, because
and
there's
this is what they gave.
well, it's like, hey guys, listen, let me pitch you a fucking He-Man movie. You ready right now? Here we go. Put on your He-Man caps, okay? Or actually, to all of you, just take your shirts off.
I was about to say,
We're gonna get
put on
into
my
character.
chest strappies.
All right, ready. All right. It's 1985. We're in the Hasbro Mattel offices. We're
Probably doing a bunch of
banking
coke.
banking
we're
money.
absolutely doing blow.
Money is pouring out of the walls.
Yeah.
Okay? We're gonna make a movie for He-Man.
For boys.
For boys.
Only.
Because girls cook. Maybe brush their hair. My Little Pony and Easy Bake Oven will prove that. And the shitty sales of She-Ra will, we'll talk about that another time when we do the show on Netflix, because it's phenomenal. What can young boys relate to? What do they want to see? They want to see their hero fight their favorite villain, fight their favorite villain's best friends. Where? In their own backyard. Wait a minute. Shouldn't we have it in Eternia where the show's set? Fuck that. Fire that guy, throw him out the goddamn window. We're going to have it
We
on
can't
Earth.
afford that. We have
We're
to
gonna
put that
have
money
it-
towards our blow.
We're going to have it at a fried chicken and rib joint my uncle owns. And then who's on the list? We got Courtney Cox. We got Robert Duncan McNeil. He hasn't had work yet. And he's only going to go on to do what? My Life and some other bullshit
Star
soap
Trek
operas.
Voyager.
So he's going to direct and be on some Star Trek Voyager episodes. Yeah. Fucking Kevin. Oh, man. And they were like, yeah, okay, who do you want to be in it? Who can we license out? And we're like, we're not even gonna make it look like Grayskull. We want nothing recognizable in this movie. That way we don't have to license out the toys for them, and we'll sell them more toys.
I do big exec. Like, I do this bit a lot.
Yeah.
So I got this one. I got this one.
cool.
So I'm
Give
going
it
to
to
pick up my Megatron
All right,
here.
you ready?
My Megatron, because I'm at the Mattel head office here, and I'm gonna
Right.
do a badass line and blow off of that. And I'm telling you what, if we're getting Dolph Lundgren, we're gonna pay big money for this guy. I better see his nipples.
We are.
At least 30 out of 30
What about
minutes
his
out of
cock?
this.
How much
So,
can he sell his
If
cock?
I
on
don't
this
see
one?
the bulge on this thing, we're gonna
Okay.
have nothing to sell.
Are you
I don't even
sure?
know what we're gonna hand off.
Adam, can you play executive also on coke and who's worried about the film being made for children?
This is for This needs to be for children.
Okay, so we can't have his cock, but what if we have his belly button and everything else showing?
Listen, I don't care if there's any. I don't care if there's any cock. I don't care if there's any man milk. Okay, then we're gonna put this thing out there. It's gonna make $100 million, and we're gonna sell some toys.
Okay, so just
This
so
is
we know,
PG. We can only have the bulge.
we need people being cut literally in half. And the kids loved when we killed Optimus Prime in the fucking first Transformers movie. They lined up down the block for when we turned that beautiful red, white, and blue monster truck of a man gray.
Yeah. Oh my God. How do I just remember that now?
Because it was how that movie started, and it was awful, and it was incredibly traumatic, and parents had to walk their children out of the fucking theater because in the first 3.5 minutes they kill Optimus goddamn Prime. Super Seven has him now.
Within the first-
done in the paint scheme, it's gorgeous.
Within the first 10 minutes, they killed technically He-Man, and this just not, the character,
They
the
kill the fucking
franchise.
franchise in the first 10 minutes. As soon as you get this huge, beautiful, like, prismatic lore dump of Grayskull, the most powerful place in the universe, looks nothing like you recognize it. The TV, the lunchboxes, the fucking cereal. Nope, we got a skull with radio antennas sticking out of it. Welcome to the goddamn desert.
All right, I am going to say one thing that you're not going to agree with me on. I fucking loved the design of that castle.
Oh, I'm
Grayskull.
happy. I'm happy.
It
Dude,
was not the Castle Grayskull I know.
not my Grayskull.
Not my hashtag. Not my Grayskull. But I did like the design, just not like a. I didn't want this to be in here. I would. It fit somewhere else. Put it somewhere else. I love the design. Whoever designed it, give them props. but not for this movie.
So if you watch Toys That Made Us and you can Google some Googles, there is production stills and concept art for this. And Grayskull itself and Eternia look like something out of fucking Blade Runner.
Wow.
That's
Take
actually kinda
Blade
cool.
Runner and you drop it in a jungle.
So this was something like an artist went over.
They
after
went
the
through and
fact
they said, okay, here's our
Okay.
ideas. And
Yeah.
they went, we're not going to use any of these.
That sounds really fucking cool,
And
actually.
it's like, take these mega cities, because it's fucking He-Man, and we'll just drop it in a jungle.
I
And
kind of
we'll
like
just
that.
paint it on glass, and it's just wild shit happening.
Yeah.
Because you've got, I mean, you could throw some lore at us if you want, like the Fright Zone. You've got Snake Mountain. You've got, you're blinking at me, Nintendo Geek. You know this history.
I'm blinking like Detective Lubric.
Oh my god. Yeah, who was clearly on fucking cocaine the entire fucking
Oh my god,
movie.
he was sniffing so bad.
That I have never seen someone cock a shotgun so many times without.
All he did the entire film.
No, can I just say, at the end, at the battle scene, could you imagine how devastating him actually using a shotgun on these people would actually be?
How horrified.
Considering they're used to treating laser burns.
Yeah.
All this thing has
Horrified.
like metal in
Oh, they shoot arrows.
you. Like, imagine that for a second.
It's just shredding.
I
armor and,
honestly
like,
wanted
ripping them to pieces.
Right. Screaming because they're still alive. They're not stunned.
Exactly, yeah.
Well, you'd have Endor, right? The stormtroopers with arrows through their fucking head, still alive. I honestly, in a way, for that one scene, wanted like the bullets to just bounce off of them. Boom, and then they just blink, and you just have like a guy throw gravel on the ground.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
be like, oh, they're way more advanced than us. This
Yeah.
isn't gonna work. We're fucked.
Well, like,
That's true.
Like,
They use a combination of science and magic, both beyond us.
Right.
So they're, if you don't have armor, it doesn't really matter in that world because you have magical armor.
But I feel
Right,
like
you'd have
in
like the
this-
vibrating belt buckle.
Yeah.
That just would push everything off.
really
And that's
struck
why
me-
nobody got hurt in the cartoon.
yeah.
And maybe in this world they just kind of like got lucky and stumbled upon some crystals or something. They had some kind of power.
Yeah, they
Because
stumbled
don't-
on
they
some
don't
fucking crystals,
see-
all
other,
right.
other than not my Orko. I don't really know that anyone seems to know the technology at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's just it was really struck me as kind of strange. Like anyway, I don't know.
Speaking of technology, I've got to ask the question. So obviously we know that the whole point of the sword is that it's a funnel for the power of Grayskull,
Yes.
yeah.
right?
Right. That's new lore.
Oh, is it?
That's new lore.
Oh.
Yeah.
Seemed like it was doing something there, like powering up the throne. Though,
Yeah.
or something.
So we
think
never
It
got
opened up the shutter, which allowed the energy of the universe to come in.
Yeah.
we didn't get any of that information until they like stripped it from the old comic books, and then Kevin Smith sat down and was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
we need to make sense of all of this."
Oh, I didn't know that was that kind of new.
All of it, even the TV show, and there's probably 5 episodes that I would love to watch with you because they're just batshit crazy, especially the drug episode.
Oh, boy.
Because there is a Don't Do
Oh,
Drugs
She-Ra.
He-Man episode, and it's fucking amazing, and you want to do
know
drugs
that.
when you watch this episode.
No, it wasn't she.
It was a He-Man episode.
sure?
Yeah, it was because I think
Oh,
the
it was
bad guy was
great.
named the Pusher or like
Yeah.
Doctor Pusher or
It
something
was like
like
this
that.
girl that got wrapped in this like crystal that like gave her powers, and at the end, He-Man gave a whole thing about like
Don't
you
do-
don't
don't
you don't
do-
have to take like things,
But
to-
it makes
to
the
be
show even better.
And it was literally like an anti-drug episode.
Dude, it's fucking great. You want to do drugs while you watch the episode.
She got
It's great
hooked on
time.
this like performance-enhancing drug.
Don't you love those old 80s where there's this entire group of people that are all doing coke off of hookers' asses and then immediately going, we should tell people not to do this amazing fucking
Yeah,
thing.
absolutely. It's them paying
Remember,
for it. 100%.
kids,
Remember? Yeah.
It's just a fair, just like everything.
lying is not the answer. Tell the truth.
That's right. So your dad can beat the shit out of you.
So do we have to talk about why movies, I'm guessing it's budgetary reasons, or maybe it's, so you feel connected. Why every goddamn movie in the 80s, just like this one, took you from a cool, interesting world, and we're like, we're going to put you in New York.
Because
No,
you can
New
relate.
Jersey.
You can relate to it.
Exactly.
I can't. I'm from Windsor, Canada. I
we're
don't relate to
trying-
New York's.
We're trying to get to the normal, hot 1980s teen, and you're going to relate to it, and it's going to be generic enough where this guy isn't Marty McFly, but he's close enough. He's kind of like a bootleg Marty McFly,
Oh my God.
and he's got sound check.
Sorry, I just noticed who Evil Lynn was.
Yeah, Meg Foster.
I didn't notice who was playing
She's in a
her.
bunch of stuff, man. She's great. So they try to keep it as generic as possible. It's the same thing with Stranger Things. Like it's fucking generic
Well,
storytelling.
Stranger Things is small town, blah, blah, generic. But the 80s were specifically New York.
No, my guy, it was small fucking town. You look at, oh, not small town. I apologize because I'm gonna start naming stuff and it's gonna make me look like an idiot. Santa Cruz, small town, Santa Cruz, Lost Boys, fucking The Goonies, small town. Like everything you pull from that pulls from that film or those movies or even this film is like bullshit small town. Nintendo, you got your hand up like you're in a arts class.
You guys
Like,
are.
what's going on?
You guys are from the 80s. You knew that everything.
Well, I was born in 88, so I'm not from the 80s.
Oh yeah, so you're good enough. What's the history? What was it like
So
in
you
83?
knew, or history has told us that in the 80s, if you were a nerd or liked anything nerd related, you were immediately uncool. So what is you want people to go see this movie that is based in a fantasy realm, it's a cartoon, and you want people to actually go and see it, namely older kids, you have to kind of dumb it down to make it seem like not so nerdy.
I want to be clear, that wasn't just the 80s. That was also my youth in the early 2000s
Oh,
and
yeah.
the
All the
1990s and
ways.
in the 2010s and now in the 2020s.
Except they made bullies look like punk rock kids, and
Yeah.
now in the world we live in, the punk rock kids were never the bullies.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But
the jocks.
The 80s
Yeah.
jocks were the real bullies.
also-
hence why you had to make, like, maybe not for you guys, but like maybe the teenagers of the 80s wouldn't want to go see He-Man or be seen seeing He-Man if it was just a basic, like, all-around fantasy.
Is that why they brought in the cool, air quotes, cool douche guy, Kevin?
He's in a
to be like,
band.
I'm in a band, man. You want to come do my sound check?
Yeah.
I play keyboard.
You can't relate to
He's a sound master.
you can't relate to an upper middle class kid that could afford He-Man toys or instruments or music lessons.
Okay,
in
that
a
is
white
exactly
neighborhood
what I
in
relate to.
California. No, but for real, you look at that fucking demographic. Also, not to be Nintendo geek, but the other problem with this movie is no one went to it.
That's
for sure.
also,
Right.
it backfires. They should have went full fantasy.
Right.
They should have. They probably
should have,
couldn't
definitely.
afford. I'm going to assume the main reason was the relation. Like, hey, make sure you people feel like they're related, or you can relate to the characters, right? Because they want to bring in that.
It's got to have these things in it.
Yeah.
In order to call it a He-Man movie.
Yeah, but they didn't have the budget to stay in Eternia. I'm assuming that's a huge.
Well,
factor.
I think
they were in the desert. You called it yourself. You're like,
the writing though would have the writing was intended for them to get more like third parties involved, more brands involved, right? And obviously they didn't get that many. I saw Pepsi, I
Well,
saw
they
Burger
had
King.
H&R Block,
Yeah.
Rexall, Pepsi.
Yeah. There was a few in there, but like I think there was probably some big ones they missed out on because it's just some of it felt very empty. Even though obviously all the city scenes were filmed on like a back lot somewhere, probably at WB Studios in Burbank or something like that. But I think there was probably a bigger opportunity for them to get budget from that. And I think I would venture to guess that every penny of their $17 million budget came from these product placements.
Or
Like,
the special effects.
every single penny.
Well, I made the joke that they had the budget for 5 sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were 100% accurate.
Oh, it was so fucking bad.
Yeah.
It's just there's so many things that were wrong. Even like when he finally got the sword and screamed right at the end where they're fighting, they go back to Eternia and he pulls out the sword from the slot. He's like, I have the power. Like, I just did a cooler job than he did.
Right.
It did not have the punch, the I have the power. It was just, it felt empty. It felt wrong.
Well, like most of his lines, it was probably dubbed with another
Well,
man's
the sound
voice.
effects
no,
kind
that
of
was
went
very
over
much his
it.
voice.
You think?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's,
I don't know,
that's his
man.
voice. The thing is, you got to remember too, guys. The cartoon stopped airing in '85, so this is
No
2
shit.
years after.
Oh man.
Still.
Yeah, because they were still selling toys. They were
Yeah.
sitting on toys.
Once the show was done airing, though, they ran it in syndication until fucking ad
They
nauseum.
still do.
Right. They still do, but you've seen toys. We've all seen toys that made us.
Yeah.
They were sitting on warehouses of the plastic.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they had to move it. So what's a good way to sell toys? Because Star Wars is flying off the shelf. We all know the Kenner story.
Syndication.
Syndication.
The amount of Star Wars I got from this. Oh, getting to the end, pulls out the sword, fights Palpatine, and throws Palpatine Skeletor over the edge.
I was sitting there saying, "Where's the flare up? Where's the flare up from the shaft?
Right.
Where is it?" And he didn't have one, and I was actually kind of disappointed.
And it was the exact scene, but shit. That's the best part, is you can tell they're like,
get
I
that-
want that scene from Star Wars,
Yeah.
but make it shitty.
We'll make it on the budget.
Give me some more Star Wars. I want to see him go down the shaft. I want to see the flare up. The flare up. Sir, we don't have the budget. Cut the flare up. Just throw him down the shaft. That's exactly how it went.
All I can imagine is Skeletor being like, do it. Do it. Do it, you boob.
Yeah, because fucking Jedi was 83.
Yeah.
So they would have just copied it.
Yep.
It would. Oh man, what a weird, like 10 years of we need a Star Wars.
Yeah.
We need a Star Wars so fucking bad. We're gonna do Flash Gordon. We're gonna do
No, Flash Gordon came out before Star Wars. They copied.
No, it
Flash
came out
Gordon.
just after the first Star Wars.
Ah, that's
Between
what
the
it
first
was.
and the second.
Sorry, it's only we did an episode on this.
We did an episode on this. Sure.
We're professionals
We're
here.
professionals on this one. Tree scorpions, if you touched them. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a pandemic sweeping the neighborhoods of the modern kids.
We haven't done it.
We're there. Don't
Okay.
worry. We'll get to that segment.
Sorry.
My God.
You're judging our host harshly.
Holy shit.
I have been working a lot.
So the He-Man story works well, almost better as a Shazam. A Shazam story,
Yeah.
where if Adam would have lost the sword and we wouldn't have had Dolph Lundgren.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's, hey, I'm Prince Adam and I'm on Earth and I need to find my sword.
I think
just
it-
a
and
regular nerdy boy.
I'm a nerdy kid that's
Yeah.
not relatable, and then he fucking does the thing. He gets it, and all
No,
of a sudden
really,
it's
I'm
like
the Prince of Eternity.
right.
Why
That
doesn't
is-
anyone believe
we
me?
have these moments of like Dolph Lundgren as a reflection in the glass, and
Yeah.
Prince Adam being like,
Yeah.
oh, like
That's a movie I want to see.
the idea of fucking even the toy commercial, the classic toy commercial of He-Man,
Yeah.
where it is the little kid standing out front of like the Christmas display,
Yep.
and like you see the silhouette,
Yes.
and the kid's like, I have the power.
That would have been. I was thinking the exact same thing watching the entire movie.
And Skeletor's trying to find the fucking sword.
That
Where is it?
What they
His
should
power
have
is
done.
his courage. His power is his courage.
They could have thrown Adam into the 80s, into the New York 80s,
Yep.
and they could have had him working with Courtney Cox
Yep.
to try and get himself back. And
Yeah.
Yep.
he's like, I need to get back. I need to save my people. And this is also the movie where Tila and Man-at-Arms
Are
learn that
going
he-
to find him.
are going to find him and learn who he is
Yes.
for the first time. Because that's a big moment. And that would be a big moment to have in a movie.
Dude.
And that's the movie instead of the Kevin Smith show, where
Yeah.
they find out who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I made a lot of correlations because I felt like they told the same tale.
Yep.
With Skelegod getting the sword
Yep,
finally and all that fun jazz. It's just Smith just did it so much
There's
better.
bones. There are bones. It's a very 80s.
You don't say.
There are bones. There are bones in this movie. I almost said bones in the show. There is bones in this movie that are not great, but there's pieces there that are
Yeah.
usable that would have been great. And even if Orko was fucking animated.
Oh,
Like-
instead of Gwildor?
Do the classic, what is it, Captain N? Where they had it half animated, half live action, and we throw Adam out, and all of a sudden they come through, and it's like,
They could have just not. They could have had a scene where it's Orko and the Sorceress are captured, and Skeletor is taking their power combined.
Yeah.
This way, you can have him in. You can be like, "Hey, he exists, but we're just gonna mostly not have him around."
Right.
nah, man, because I still think you need Orko as the MacGuffin who can get Man-at-Arms and Tila to Adam to get him back.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You need him as the MacGuffin. You have Skeletor kill He-Man, setting him through a portal to Earth. He-Man loses his sword. He's a nerdy kid in New York or California or wherever, and we do the Sean Connery's Terminator 2 thing where Skeletor's like, "Yo, he's alive." Send some fucking goons after him, and then there's a race to try to get the sword to get Adam back to things to fight Skeletor to save Eternia. Ladies and gentlemen, you can fucking find me at Nintendo Geek or Geek Movie House, and I will write your scripts. Good night.
It's a way better movie.
No, it is. It's simple because you have some of it animated, like the fucking cartoon, and then you have the live action shit that's almost like Ninja Turtles, where
Yeah.
it's like, whoa, my god, right? Orko, you get Jim Henson on the fucking phone, and you have him
They could not afford
string up.
jazz.
You have fucking Orko get strung up like a witch, and have him come out with his big stupid floppy hat, and you just have him as a puppet. That's it.
That would totally work.
But they clearly used the cosmic key instead of utilizing the sword, and gave He-Man a gun in order to like distract from the sword actually being like the important part. Because
Yeah.
when he lost his sword, he should have lost his powers, and like
That
I said, turned
threw
to
me off
Adam.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like he doesn't use like Man-at-Arms and Tila, sure, because that's what Man-at-Arms does. He does weapons and technology
Right.
for the king and queen and the army and all that. And Adam or He-Man always uses a sword.
Yeah.
Right, because you could have had a Man at Arms going, these weapons are primitive. These are crap. This isn't going to do
Exactly.
shit. Like,
Oh,
Man at Arms just disassembling the shotgun and having it drop in
Oh,
8
it
pieces.
seems to be an animal
no-
bone.
no.
It's like, hey, no, you comment on the handgun being like, oh, what is this?
Primitive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your Barbarella pull, your
Yeah.
Flash Gordon pull, your Ming, your these villains, this primitive
Mm-hmm.
knuckle dragging, mouth breathing world.
Yes.
Yeah.
He-Man just devouring fucking Eggo waffles. What product placement can we throw?
Yes.
Y'all want to
Oh.
sell? Y'all want to sell Pizza Hut pizzas or Domino's?
Yeah.
Like fucking
Yes.
He-Man. It's like we don't have this where I'm
Like
from.
going
What
back
the
to
fuck is this?
like
And
TMNT,
he's
like get like the
obsessed.
pizza
Right.
and like,
He's
oh my
just
god, Coca
eating
Cola.
hot dogs like he's fucking running out of time. And Courtney Cox is like, we got to find your sword, and he's like, I can't stop eating hot
Well,
dogs.
no, because they turned
Like-
into the
Yeah, but
key.
then do we get like kind of like Thor? We get Fat He-Man.
Well, no, because it's so Thor is the better He-Man.
Yeah.
Show
True.
or movie because it is that fish out of water.
Yeah.
With
You know what's
Gene,
funny
where he's
is-
like another, and he's throwing down the fucking beer.
Your version of the way you're just okay. I see it. I see what you're getting at now. When you are constantly saying that this reminded you a lot of Thor, because the exact tale you just told is
Thor.
is Thor, the first movie.
It's Thor. And then his buddies show up to come and help him to get the fuck out of there. And
Yeah.
guess what He-Man did? The buddies come up to fucking be like, hey man, we gotta go. And the bad guy, Loki or Skeletor or whatever movie we're talking about, because I'm confused now because they're the exact same movie, send some bad dudes to go like, hey, go finish him off.
Yeah.
We're gonna just, because if they find out that I lied and he's not dead, then I'll lose my position of power or I'll lose my grip on thing, and that'll give everyone hope. And then
Yes.
they'll rise up against us because the people of Eternia did nothing.
No,
in
they were
this
like
movie.
this the whole movie.
They did. They
They were
just they hung out on a
prisoners.
beach.
Yeah.
They put their hands up and they did fucking nothing.
They were a prisoner from this first scene to
the
the end scene.
to the
They were a prisoner
nighttime.
the whole
The
way.
only
One
thing that
film.
changed was it went from daytime to nighttime.
Right.
Yeah.
Before we jump around to another segment in the show, what did everybody think of their thoughts, or what was everyone's thoughts on the betrayal of Skeletor?
Awful.
Awful.
So I was far too much distracted by the clear mesh nose holes. So where he normally, because it's skeleton, he has a skeletal face, but obviously it's a prosthesis, and you can see clearly he had like a prosthesis covering his nose, and right at the bottom there's
Well, he went under the knife for that.
yeah, sure. where like the holes in the skull are supposed to be.
Yeah.
You could very clear. I'm guessing when it's standard definition, you wouldn't have noticed it, but we
Right.
were watching on like what Blu-ray,
Blu-ray 4K stuff.
4K stuff.
It does not, like a lot of the films we're going to show and just watch. They've edged beautifully, like a fine wine you forgot about that might have also spoiled.
But like
And-
you could see the mesh where the nose is, so he can breathe through it very clearly, and that threw me off every time I was watching him.
The beginning too, to go on that, I don't know if anyone else noticed, but he was talking like when he's first like, get He-Man, his whole mask when he was breathing was
Yes!
extending out.
Yes,
It was
Like a
ballooning.
balloon.
It was ballooning.
Yes.
He was
Oh my
breathing and it was
God.
puffing out.
His
and I'm like,
cheeks
oh,
would like.
I get it.
I mean, I enjoyed the portrayal as far as, I mean, that's probably as far as they could take it. And
He had fun with
1987 with that budget. It was Frank Langella obviously playing him. Did well enough. Did well enough, I feel like, given the film, the script, the story, the plot points.
I think given we have actors like Jim Carrey,
Yeah.
that could have done the Skeletor we know more justice.
No, he's too thin.
No, yeah, I guess the problem is the physical actor. I'm thinking more the all-out, like big character, because this one he was very physically mute. He didn't move a lot. He didn't have big hand gestures.
Right.
He wasn't Ming, right? He wasn't this bigger than life. He kind of
Yep.
stayed small.
Yeah,
physically.
he wasn't animated.
Yeah.
He should have acted more animated.
I think
He should
he
have
was-
run and jumped on He-Man and acted menacing and moved faster, done all these things. And as an actor, he could have done it.
Yeah.
But
Because you have your theater actors, and then you have your theater actors portraying cartoon characters.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
need to kind of know what you're signing up for.
Right.
Your portrayal of Ming is now like thinking back, or even if you rewatch, that's the thing, you're going to want to rewatch fucking Flash Gordon, and you might even rate it higher now after seeing all of these other films that have come after it, because you're like, fuck, everybody in it is acting their ass off and they're doing a great job with it. Where Skeletor, he did it because his kid really liked the toys. So he's like, let's go. Yeah, I'll take that paycheck and a little bit of paper towel on my face. Like, let's go.
You know what? He was probably trying to give the character his own like swing. Like he didn't want to do exactly the voice and exactly the mannerisms. Because a few times when he was getting angry, he did kind of go into that like voice. But he played it very like held back, and I think that was intentional.
It also felt like he had 3 days of filming, maybe less.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like they had him on set for an afternoon.
Do you think
Because
he was more
it's
expensive?
black costume Skeletor, Skelegod, and then
Yeah.
the holograms, maybe.
Do you think he
Right.
was more expensive than Dolph Lundgren?
Frank
No.
Langella at the time?
No.
No.
Well, when did Rocky 4 come out? It was before this.
It was before this.
Yeah. Okay, then he
Yeah.
would have been less than Dolph.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I just think he wasn't animated enough. And I don't mean that, I mean, personality, he wasn't larger than life. And I think that really does, also that mask is just, they could, sometimes people ask, should we do it? They don't ask, could we do it? They could not do, with the technology at the time, Skeletor justice. Skeletor needed to be fully animated, what we can pull off today. This way he looks like a real skeleton. He doesn't look like a dude in a fat mask. And therefore completely ruin the threat.
Yeah, and he wasn't really in shape either. Not to shit on the man in spandex, because it shows all, but everybody was kind of just a little squishy.
Little pokey.
A little pokey. Everyone was a little pokey.
Except for Dolph.
Dolph
Dolph
Oh.
and Tila.
Dolph, Tila, everyone in every extra in a tactical thong. Just this whole movie, the whole movie. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have one, go into Amazon right now. This is not an affiliate link, but you're going to want to add a tactical thong to your cart.
And Eternian tactical thong. Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
Eternal Tacticon.
even He-Man like tucked like the grapple.
Oh, he tucked,
into
all
his,
right.
Did he?
He talked running around.
when he was on that, when he was going to go on
that
this
piece.
little hoverboard, he like tucked the grapple into his waistband.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The undies will hold it, no problem.
Buy yourself some underoos just for the He-Man shirt and throw on an old tactical thong and throw He-Man.
I will say He-Man's like shoulder pauldrons and the cape, and the way it like kind of drooped down his back where you could see the hilt of the sword, if in the right light when they did the right scene, looked fucking cool.
Adam, have you ever seen Conan the Barbarian or Conan the Destroyer?
No.
Okay,
Oh.
so guess what? We've got a way better film franchise that you're
It
gonna
is, but
love
triple
for
the
this
budget.
shit. We're gonna be like, yeah, man.
Where people actually get cut in half with swords.
Yeah, and they fight witches and giant snakes
So,
and shit. Like
I
you're gonna
saw-
be like, fuck.
A scene or two of it when it was on like some TV show cut down with commercials, and then I stopped watching. So I never watched the whole thing, and I don't remember much.
Okay, so you're gonna, when we finally do Conan, both Conans, not gonna do the new one with Jason Momoa, even though it's not bad. It's not terrible.
Never seen that one either.
It's not bad. You're gonna go, yeah, this is what He-Man should have fucking been. But instead of the bad guy of James Earl Jones, it should have been Skeletor.
Yeah.
And it would have been like, this is phenomenal. But yeah, so Alex, if you're not familiar, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a podcast within a podcast where we take this to the next level. We're going to rate those eyebrows with everyone in the film. Alex, we're going to throw it to you. Who had the best eyebrows in Masters of the Universe?
Oh man, that's a loaded question there. I'm probably gonna have to go with. I'm gonna take the easy route out here. I mean, Courtney Cox, overall very well manicured. I felt like she had done she had a lot of good makeup artists working with her throughout the film. She really kept it together, even when she was sick and dying. Still really kept it on point. I thought the eyebrows were still on point. I didn't really see an eyebrow failure on her part.
That's awesome. That's also the wrong answer. Thank you very much for answering. It's clearly Beastman. Nintendo Geek. Do you have do you want to try to take a swing?
Obviously Evil Lynn. Her makeup was on fleek. Look at that.
Oh fuck! Oh, can
Look
we get a shot of Beastman though, please?
Like,
Just for
the classic, like the eyebrow matching up with the winged eyeshadow, making that nice cat eye look. Like, come on.
That is exactly who I was thinking. I completely agree with you. I'm trying to find.
He doesn't even get a shot because he's in the movie for 4 minutes.
They start to go to cartoons.
Oh my
before
god,
they
we
touch
forgot
it.
about Dildo the sorcerer.
Oh, he probably really got.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not my
Not my Orko.
Not my Orko.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I take my vote away from Evil Lynn and go to Not My Orko.
All right, so we are
Gwildor.
Gwildor, that's his name. Yeah.
Dildo the Dildo the sorceress.
Very domineering mustache on John Cipher playing Man at Arms.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I wanted more from him.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the only reason why I was so hard is just because everyone's so good looking in this movie. But realistically, I just wish the costumes were a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
I just wish it was for how much fun and goofy the film could have been.
Yeah.
Like everything being so gray. Like Man at Arms, like really could he could have had like so many. Everybody could have had their own little bullshit fish out of water comedy moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would have worked so much better.
Yes.
Right? Like, oh, he just knows how to fucking drive a car.
Yeah.
Oh, he just knows how to. Hey, I
Only
built
the
this
techno
thing.
geek, only the Gwildor,
Yeah.
the techno dude, drove the car from outside the world.
He took a lot of what Gwildor could do. I think Gwildor was a mix of what Man at Arms and Orko. Because Man at Arms is like, yeah, I know how to drive a car. I can build a car. I
Right.
can like soup
Yes.
up this any vehicle you need. I can build you a vehicle because he was the one making all the ships.
Right.
Yes.
He was an accessory man.
So was Gwildor the Mary Sue,
Dildor the sorcerer drove me fucking up the
the
wall.
locksmith, inventor?
Yeah. Hey, I invented this thing that can get us back to home, but I forgot how to use it.
But why was there two of them?
Well, one was a prototype.
Because he lost it.
No, you see, he sat there and played 1,000 notes on the thing, trying to figure out the code to get him back home. And then at the end, he's
Hotel
like,
California,
actually, all I really
Hotel
needed
California
was just
backwards.
two more notes, and I could have had it. And I'm like, really? That's it?
I did it. I did the thing.
They needed something to relate to the human characters from the 80s. Like, oh, this guy's in a band. Oh, we need a musical talented person. Oh, okay, fate brought us together.
I hated that.
Oh,
Because
so
Courtney
dumb.
Cox literally was set up as the main character besides He-Man, and then they just kind of bite her with a snake.
Yeah.
Which is, it's either snakes with lasers or fucking quicksand in the 80s. You gotta watch out. And then they just take her off the fucking playing field.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, you have a penis. Can you save the day?
The problem
Like,
is if they had instead wounded Kevin and they had to get back to save Kevin, we'd all be like, take your time.
The antidote, we have people on my world that can save him. Please, for the love of God, start pressing buttons or keys on this keyboard like you're a drunk cat at a fucking house party.
But the problem is if that was the case, everybody's like, we got time.
Yeah, everyone was like, oh, He-Man would just walked away into the sunset. Tila would have been like, well, I guess you're
Can
a
we just
lesbian
talk
now.
about-
Like,
all the scenes where it showed her clearly walking like next to Kevin, but He-Man just had like his arm around her or was
oh, they were just
carrying
holding
her.
hands the entire time?
Yeah, and it's like, hey, Kevin.
Yeah, that one scene where Tila finds Courtney Cox's character, Julie. Sorry, when Tila finds Julie and He-Man, and they're like, "Oh, I guess you've met," and then she just stares at fucking
Yeah.
Courtney Cox for a solid 3 uncomfortable minutes.
Fucking
It's
bitch.
like, yo, what was that about? Why is this movie longer than it needs to be? And then it just cuts to the next action.
Hi, Julie. I mean, house wrecker.
Yeah, hi. You want to destroy this planet too?
Yeah, why don't you destroy the planet and my relationship, bitch?
Oh my god.
The biggest mystery, and I kind of mentioned it during the movie. What is the story? Okay, the house is sold. Everything is packed up to go. What is with the single red chili pepper magnet on her fridge?
Yeah.
You said that, and I couldn't stop staring at
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And you just
I was
kept
staring at it,
laughing.
too.
Because
I was
Kevin
staring at
kept
it.
moving out of the way,
And
and
this
it's
is-
like, oh, there it is. It wasn't a mistake.
I was
wish
more
it kept
thinking
moving.
there is this. Okay, so we're Canadian. Alex, you were raised in
Spoilers,
the
everyone.
freedom states of the U.S.
Freedom States of America, yes.
Freedom States of
spoilers,
America. What age are you at the end of senior high school?
18.
What is your title?
Senior.
Senior.
Okay, so she was legally allowed to live on her own then.
Wrong answer. You should have just said black belt. What is your title? I can't tell you.
3rd degree black belt. Thank you.
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Yeah.
There's like junior, sophomore.
Oh, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior.
Okay, I never understood that.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just where we go. It's just what we do, dude.
is
It's what we
dumb.
do. But that's all good though that she was supposed to be 18 or whatever, because then it made Kevin's inappropriate line somewhat more appropriate. My favorite line from the movie.
Which one?
I got all the meat you need right here.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Wow,
it's
our last date, you brought a bucket of chicken? How romantic.
Oh my god.
Shut up, Kevin.
Oh my god. Because you were literally immediately like, Kevin, I sold my car. I sold everything. I sold the house. I'm moving to New Jersey from California. Fucking why? We're still trying to figure out that mystery. Can you please take me to my parents' grave so I can finally just kind of lay all of my emotional damage out? And Kevin's like, but do we have time for some chicken and a quick fuck? Not even love making.
Can I just get a handy at least?
You love me, right? You love me. You love me, right? Because it's my sound check. I know your flight's in 45 minutes. And you'll probably never make it in a post or pre 9/11
It was already
world.
dark.
It was all. God damn, this movie's
They were clearly at
frustrating.
I get it. We were
It's
convinced
so
they
frustrating.
were in New Jersey or whatever,
Yeah.
but really they were clearly in the Arctic, where it's night at all times.
Yeah, they're in
Zero.
Southern California.
The
Where
trees were fully in green. There's
Yeah.
no way it was dark before 9 o'clock.
I wish,
Yeah.
I wish it was almost like Beverly Hills Cop 1, where like the police are like, you know, it's California, or what are they coming back from a convention? Because
Yeah.
fucking He-Man's just naked with his dick in his hand. I mean, holding his sword. It was so funny to watch these guys walk around or even try to get in the back of cars, because you've got Dolph Lundgren literally put the sword in front of his dick and then walk around because he doesn't want to smack it off anything, because you know he's already tripped on that cape 1,000 times before they started filming. And everyone in those outfits cannot see, right? We've got Blade, the dude with an eye patch, because
Yeah.
what's his fucking story? Doesn't matter.
He wears chainmail and has 2 swords.
No pants and chainmail. Get in, ladies.
You know, Lizard Guy was flying
Gillette.
blind. Lizard Guy was flying blind for sure. That
Lizard
guy couldn't
guy,
see shit.
Bat Broad,
Yeah.
fucking Beast Boy,
Motley Crue dude.
Molly Crew dude.
Yeah.
Evelyn gets recruited to go save the day, dresses up like Courtney Cox's mother.
Well, she's like,
Only
I don't
answer
want
was not, honey, we miss you. We're working with the government because Russians.
Yeah.
Give me the give me the noisemaker made out of metal.
Give me the fucking thing.
Give me
the fucking thing.
I need David McGuffin. I need David McGuffin so bad. I won't be able to get home without David McGuffin.
My favorite is when Evil Lynn is like in front of Skeletor and he's like touching her face, being like,
Oh,
"Oh,
God.
together we're gonna rule. It's gonna be great." And then immediately after,
Yeah.
she says one thing, and he's like, "Fine, you go with him." And she's like, "But I don't want to." He's like, "Well, then you shouldn't have said anything." And it's like, oh my god,
That was a great line. I loved that shit. That was a great line.
I mean, that's the shitty fucking toxic relationship
No,
of
it
Skeletor
is.
and Evil Lynn. I mean,
Yeah.
you get that even in. You have yet to see the Kevin Smith
we
show.
can't talk about
But
that.
there is so, like,
Oh, it's
they're
so good.
They like bone it in the cartoon, dude.
Oh, I didn't see that part.
Oh,
I saw
they-
the first
You
few
gotta watch
episodes. I didn't see
season
that.
2.
Oh yeah, man, they like bone. It's fucking. It's like woo.
So
Like-
he's straight up laying pipe.
yeah.
Bone.
Skelepipe.
Skelepipe. my
Yeah,
guy.
man.
You know what's funny is I for the first time because of that show, I thought Skeletor is actually kind of smart.
Yeah.
oh, dude, he's
usually-
smart as fuck. Yeah.
Usually he's always the bumbling idiot who fails at everything he tries to accomplish. But in this one, he gets I don't want to spoil everything, but you realize he is not aiming like, oh, why don't you want to aim for higher? And he very clearly states why. And it's like, well, I actually kind of makes sense because they show what happens when you do aim higher.
Well, he surrounds himself with idiots, too. Like,
right.
yeah.
He's a big fish in a small tank, and he's happy being just the big fish. Right?
Yes.
And that's it.
Yes.
Kind of thing. We didn't get any of that in this movie. We get a man who sits on a chair. Very much
Sometimes.
like Emperor
The chair
Palpatine.
looked cool.
Chair looked cool.
Other times he marches.
fuck. Costume design. Thoughts?
I liked it.
yeah, I mean, I said at the beginning, I really think Skeletor has some drip, man. He comes in command.
Evil Lynn's outfit with like the chainmail and like the
The bodysuit.
cod piece, like her codpiece was way better than Skeletor's codpiece.
Yeah.
So it very much
Yeah.
felt like they went in and said, okay, everybody, we're going to design the costumes. And then Hasbro walked on or Mattel walked on before the merger. And they went, oh, wow, these look amazing. And just like the toys, you have to dress these people. Put them in suit, like like onesies, or put them in spandex.
Or
Yeah.
you
We
need
can't
to
show
make-
that
They're
much
probably
ass.
accurate.
We can't show that much ass or that much titty
Yes.
in a PG movie.
Yeah.
I
Because
did.
Probably-
all of that,
right.
all of that looked like a secondary afterthought of
Yeah,
like
added underneath the armor.
right.
pieces.
The armor pieces are all sort of skin color or gray. It's
Interesting.
just generic enough for the
Yes.
design, except the tactical thong, because they obviously put their foot down on that one thing.
Yeah.
If there was a
I-
hill to die on, the tactical thong is where that fucking foot goes down.
I was meh on everyone's armor except for He-Man's shoulders and cape. I don't know what it was, but those things killed it on his body. It looked so cool, so rad, and I really like, specifically from the back, when they had shots of He-Man from the back with the cape kind of drooping just below the handle of
Yeah.
the sword and the nice pauldrons. I just thought that was fucking
Yeah,
cool.
it's
Everyone else was meh.
You
Yeah.
know what? They probably had it originally straight across, and he probably was having trouble catching, like
sword was
grabbing the
getting
sword
caught.
and getting caught.
production design.
possible.
So they had to loosen it so he can still like grab the hilt. When he, on the rare occasion, he pulled his sword out.
To deflect a laser beam.
Because there was moments where he was bending and moving because
Yeah.
it's like that's fucking hard to do all day,
Yeah.
especially if the sword's 4 feet long.
And it's right in the middle of your back. It's not like how like the Witcher's like on his
Off to the
shoulder on the
side,
side, right?
Yeah.
But even then, Jerry Riviera kind of and then pulls out the sword.
Yeah.
It's not a fucking clean pull,
Yeah.
especially if it's a 5-foot sword.
Well, I thought it was a absolutely wonderfully horribly bad movie.
Fair enough.
I'm glad I watched it,
Yeah.
but I want my hour back.
Yeah, Dolph Lundgren's abs are the real winner here. Let's
They
just
are.
call it what it is. Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
What'd you think? Did you hate it? Did you love it? Would you watch it again? What would you rate it?
I would never watch it again,
Okay.
unless someone would have to be like, Adam, listen, waterboating is illegal.
Okay.
Torture for the purpose of getting false confessions are illegal. But we really need you to do something and get something information out of this person. So I would what's that movie? They just peel someone's eyes open, let them watch it.
Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange. I would Clockwork Orange the shit out of them with this movie to get them to falsely admit that they're a terrorist.
You wouldn't do like Phone Booth or what's some other
Yeah, no,
great movies.
no, it's terrible. I truthfully, on all accounts, it's not even a good bad movie.
Okay.
It's just a bad movie. So I got to give this. It's not the worst. So I a 3 out of 10.
3.
He's a generous man.
He's a generous man. Nintendo geek.
I mean, for what they had up against them between Mattel executives and the toy company executives and what they thought that the 1987 market wanted and what was popular at the time, they gave a good effort. It was action, there was guns, there was lasers, there was lots of shirtless men. Yeah. I'd say, and also they kind of kept like 50-50 to the source material, although they weren't making like a direct like adaptation, or else it would have been called He-Man. But there's a reason probably why they did not let it be called He-Man
Yeah.
and the Masters of the Universe. So I would give it like a solid like 4 or 5.
4 or 5. This
Maybe
movie's
6.
getting really.
Maybe a 4 to
This
6.
is a 6 to you?
I mean, with the
4.
little Canadian hospitality, maybe it would be. But you know, like the actors did what they could with the source material. I thought Evil Lynn was great. I think Courtney Cox did a great job. Yeah, just you know, with what they had to portray. Obviously, like you said, they didn't get the licensing for everything. They were probably really bottlenecked. Yeah.
Rich, the most person who hates. Oh no,
Alex.
Alex, I forgot we did.
Alex,
I
we
was
have a
gonna
guest on the
skip
show
you. I'm
tonight.
sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex is
So-
joining us again. Welcome back, everyone, to
I'm
He-Man
here.
and the Masters of the Universe. Alex, what did you think? What would you rate it 1 to 10? Did you love it? Did you hate it?
Look, so in life, sometimes you got to learn a hard lesson. And sometimes you phone in a job, and you probably don't even show up to set, like the director of this film, even one time.
Are you saying it's Morbin time?
Probably not even in country, probably not in the same time zone. And sometimes you got to learn a lesson. Sometimes that lesson might cost you $17 million fucking dollars. So, but then you need to fire that director and never work with him again. And hopefully that is exactly where this thing ended. Because it was a piece of shit film.
Yeah?
And I wouldn't give this a full star.
Really?
Not even a full point.
Really?
It was absolute utter trash. But
Versus
I had fun.
nostalgia. Okay.
But I had fun. And
Okay.
sometimes it's about the journey.
It is about the journey. Okay.
Rich, the most of the haters.
My takeaway here with this film, and it only hurts because I loved it so much. There wasn't any catchphrase. A good 80s movie needs a good catchphrase.
There was one.
Yeah. What was it?
Was it Good Journey?
Good Journey?
Oh, Good
That
Journey.
doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
That doesn't need to be a fucking catchphrase that we all need to do. Good Journey.
2 in the pink, 1 in the journey.
Jesus Christ.
That's what it looked like.
But I mean, there wasn't enough of like a catchphrase. There wasn't a classic 80s. Was it an 80s thing or was it a 90s thing? I think we'll explore that the further we go into film history. If there was a banger on that soundtrack, right?
No.
I couldn't even tell you what music was on this, but the police officer kept saying, "Oh shit," at one point. He said it like 3 times, so that counts as a catchphrase.
I guess that does count as a catchphrase. for
That
the
plus with the
He-Man movie.
royalty-free music they used in this movie.
That's where
Yeah.
oh shit came from.
Yeah, they invented it. I would honestly, I put Disasters of the Universe at a solid 2.
Wow.
2.
Even higher than Alex.
I love the idea of seeing these characters on screen. I enjoyed the betrayal. I enjoyed
Portrayal.
portrayal and the betrayal of the fandom. Both just hurt. I liked what he did with Skeletor. The costuming was fun. None of it was identifiable as the cartoon or any of the toys or any of the stuff recognizable that you could be like, wow, that's the hover bike, or wow, that's this thing. None of that. I really wish the human characters were kind of pointing out the ridiculousness of it, because I thought that would have been a little bit more funny. I was excited to do this movie with you guys, but also there's a reason why I kept padding out and putting other films in front of it, because I fucking hate this movie, because it is such a letdown. And it's rare for me to be like, hey, Adam, we're going to watch this movie. I'm bringing it here. And, by the way, it's a piece of shit. It's not.
But we're always gonna hype it up like it's amazing.
It's the best
It's
film.
so
This
good.
will blow your mind out of.
This is like a hostage situation with you, Adam.
every
You
time.
guys hype up every film,
fucking
even if
film.
they know.
Are you ready? This movie's gonna make your hair grow
They
back.
know this is a
Get
piece of
ready.
He's agreed to
And
this
it's
for
awful.
at least the last 6 months.
I don't know what happened.
We just
got a
keep
ton of
showing
episodes.
I had this dumb idea for a podcast where I'm like, I haven't seen a lot of movies, and I'm just in the middle of a conversation randomly
And
with
then your
Al.
co-host trick you into watching this
Every
shit.
They
time.
weren't even the co-hosts. Rich and Cooper were like, "Oh, really? You're doing that? Let's join you.
We
That sounds like
know a
fun. We got
lot
movies for
of
you."
We have a lot of
movies.
movies.
Little did I know they were just like, "Well, Adam, and here's a tub. You're being drowned in it now. Okay, good for you."
It's an old.
Hey, you like Dark City?
It's an
That's true.
old pawn shop tub. It's an old Rubbermaid
Just
tub from a
take your
pawn shop
hand.
full of old DVDs and Blu-rays that we're gonna just drown you in. It's
gotta
not
put on
even
your-
liquid. It's just Diet Coke and Blu-rays, and you're gonna
You gotta put on your gloves
put on your gloves.
with some sanitizer and just go as deep as you can into
Get
it.
in there.
They waterboard you, but it's just with like old VHS tapes.
Yeah, man.
It's dump buckets of them on your
I
face.
come up and just choking on old like the magnet strips.
He comes out, he's got Swedish berries, some gummy bears, a bunch of popcorn up his nose, and he just reeks of Mountain Dew.
You ready for the intermission, Adam?
Right. Everyone stand up. take
There
a-
is none.
There is none, motherfuckers. It's a double feature.
Well, I'm excited that you guys invited me on. It was a good journey. It was fun.
Alex, thank you so much for coming on. You're welcome back eventually.
I'll be back
Ladies
in
and
12 months'
gentlemen.
time.
If
Depends
anything,
what
we'll have you bring a movie in.
Oh, nice.
Because we are big fans of shitting on things people love. So bring it on in.
Sweet.
All right, good. Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Raised
we'll
by
call
Spoilers. No, thank you so much, Alex. Thank you so much. Adam, do you want to take us home? What can we promote? We'll go around the room.
Well, we've been saying it wrong for a while now. Alex, why don't you give us the bit for Bitcade?
Bitcade, what's that? Oh, I know what that is. That's the new hottest podcast app on the block. So actually, it is a very nice podcast app. It's available for Android and iOS, and I would love it if you'd give it a shot because I have a vested interest in it. And it's actually a really nice app. If you're a creator, you can claim your podcast on there. You can monetize content on there. You can upload bonus audio and video content. And very soon, we will also have an upload site available as well. So claim your profile soon because the upload site's coming soon. And then there's even bigger news coming that I can announce in the near future, but I won't save it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Adam,
Please join us on Discord, where you can chat with us, talk to us about this movie, other movies, Dark City, one that I liked, Masters of the Universe, one that we didn't so much like. Talk about and get hints as to what's going to be our next movie.
What's the Discord called? I want to get in.
Oh, it's called Ronin Geek Podcast.
Oh, fuck off.
And there is a link in the show notes.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Nintendo Geek, where can people find you? What should they look for?
I am Nintendo Geek. I am terrible at remembering all the time if it's an underscore or a dash, and I don't have my phone.
Are you on the Twitter?
No, not really.
Oh.
Yeah, you are.
I am barely on Twitter.
That's fair.
It's some sort of elite speak and human language. It's too complicated, but
So it's Nintendo_Geek?
I believe so.
At
It
the
is
Twitters and the Instagrams?
No, it's not on the Twitters.
It's not on the Twitters?
No, it's like
You
some.
didn't get that?
No, I did. It's the only social media platform that I did not get some iteration of a pure Nintendo Geek, and I'm kind of mad about it. Yeah.
Brutal.
So yeah, Nintendo_Geek at on Instagram.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Nice.
And I am at Geek Movie House on all of the socials. Happy Pride Month, everybody. And thank you for joining us for Masters of the Universe.
He-Man.
He-Man. And remember, say no to drugs.
Good journey.
Good journey.
I have the power!
I have the power!